We're in. I guarantee you that's the best part of the whole deal. We are in now. It's like a dog chasing the car. Now that we're in, what can we do with it? So we got our work cut out for us. Had a chance to look at Furman a little bit, and they are playing extremely, extremely well. I got to congratulate, first of all, Coach Fowler and Coach Mogler here in the state of South Carolina for having made the playoffs. I'm a little bit disappointed that Jamie Chadwell didn't make it. But I need to congratulate Charleston Southern too, because they had a great year. I want to make sure that I do say that I'm appreciative to being myself. With the last few people that got in, with some of the top teams that didn't get in, the Chattanoogas and the Northern Iowas and the William & Marys, the people all around the country. There's some great teams that can get in this field, and we're extremely appreciative to be in. Now we got to go in and do a good job of actually representing our league and the committee, I guess, for having the confidence to put us in this thing. So I look forward to seeing how we can go about this week and the preparation of and all the kind of stuff that we got to do to get ourselves ready to go.
What do you deem the greatest threat by Furman? Offense and defense, are they balanced?
I think they're pretty balanced. They were down a little bit early in the year because their quarterback, Reese Hannon, was out. He had an injury the early part of the year. And, that slowed them down some. But now they've developed the Richard Hayes kid from up in Winston-Salem, who's really a good player, up in Greensboro, I think, man, who's really a good player. So, they've got a two-headed monster of sorts now at quarterback. One guy who is mostly, a throw guy who can really run an offense, and he's a progressions guy. He throws it really, really well. And then Richard Hayes is kind of a wildcat style kind of guy. He's a zone read run guy that you see in the traditional sense of college football quarterbacks of the day. And, they've had really good success since they got Hannon back. That's when their team really took off and they got going, and it got on the string here toward the end of the year that got them into this playoff, that won the conference for them and got them into the playoffs. So that offensive part of the ball is really impressive. But where they're really good, they're really good on defense. And what they do is they play good, sound, fundamental, don't give you any kind of big plays kind of defense. They force you to throw it some in the fact that they do such a good job of defending the run game. They got a couple guys that Wilkins kid, the inside backers, they say, their entire defense is really hard-nosed and disciplined, fundamentally sound. They tackle great, and they're just a good defense. So they shut Wofford out the second half of that game. They were down 14-0 in the game Saturday against Wofford, and from that point on, they kind of shut Wofford down to a trickle there. So that's where they really make their real hay on you. They kick the ball great. The little kid from over in Darlington is an unbelievable kicker. He might be a first team kick guy of sorts. I'm trying to think his name. He's number 30. Let me see right here. Let's see. Plays kid Early. Yeah, Ray Early. He's a kid that I remember when he was in high school, because he was at the magnet school in Darlington a few years ago. One of our coaches went to that school. So they kick the ball extremely well, and then they defend. Their special teams are always great in a way where you can always depend on them to be above average as far as how the rest of the division can play that way. So he's that special team portion of their game carries that weight too. So it'll be a pretty evenly matched kind of process as far as how you deal with all the sides of the ball, the offense, the defensive, and special teams game. We got to be on our P's and Q's everywhere in order to have a chance to be successful against these guys.
This is your fourth playoff appearance. Do you think you see this as probably because you're playing at home, that this may be your best opportunity to finally break that 16 conference game losing streak?
Well, I don't know. I thought we had a great chance to win that first time. That second time we were up at Appalachian State. I really thought we were the better team at that point. And Amante Edwards was kind of broken up a little bit, so he wasn't full speed. So I thought that was our best chance to win. This is a good opportunity because we're at home. But, the last 2 times, we went to Georgia Southern the last time we were in. And in both cases, both those teams had gotten hot at the end of the year, hot as a firecracker. Georgia Southern went on to the semifinals that year. They were so good. And, this Furman team kind of reminds you of that team and the fact that, they seem to be, really, really feeling good about themselves. They got some momentum that way. So, it is one of the better opportunities for us to win because we're at home. But we got our work cut out for us because they are really, really good, and they're going to test us everywhere.
How do you feel your team coming in the game mentally?
I think we're good. I think we're in great shape mentally. We banged up a little bit. We got a couple guys with some nooks and bruises. That's part of when you play 12 football games. You're going to have some of that kind of stuff going on. But at the same time, I think our kids are in a great frame of mind, and we hadn't practiced yet since we found out. We sat yesterday and watched the selection show together, and that was a lot of fun, having those guys see Saigon State name, up there amongst all those other guys. And, from that point, then, we've been kind of trying to get all our stuff together as the coaching staff, trying to figure out how to get all the stuff together so we can get a plan together. We'll go out this afternoon and do a little light practice kind of deal, and we get into it full speed tomorrow.
How would you contrast, I guess, the move from a year ago to now?
Can you imagine? Last year this time, I was in here meeting with coaches and trying to figure out, how we, got to where we were and what we need to do to fix, some of our problems, that kind of stuff. I don't know exactly why we're so much better this year than we were last year. We've been so much healthier. We've had a couple of surgeries and that kind of stuff. Curtis Hill is down. Shaq Harrison is down. Quick, the running back's down. So we've had some surgeries, that kind of stuff. We had 2 or 3 of those. But we still seem to be a lot deeper, a lot better off than we were last year. This time, I give a lot of credit to. We've changed some coaches around, but what I give the most credit to than anything else, the reason why this year has been better, we changed our entire practice routine. And we've gotten everybody on the same page in a way that we never could before. We get our kids up in the morning. We up at 5:30 in the mornings. And we on the field at about 7 o'clock in the mornings. And we're done with them in the 9 o'clock range every morning. And, that's allowed us to have everybody at every meeting and at every practice. Now, we lose some guys toward the end of those practices because we do have a few guys with 9 o'clock and 9:30 classes. But the majority of our kids are scheduled from 10 o'clock on, which means that I got them from 5:30 in the morning to 10. I don't have meetings anymore where I want to try to correct the guy, and I can't correct him because he's not there. And chemistry-wise, it makes such a big difference to have everybody at practice, at the beginning of practice every day, and we get everybody together in a way where, we get a chance to, build cohesiveness that way, to get to be, a machine that way. So I think that's probably been the biggest part of the improvement of this football team, and the fact that we changed our overall operation to the point where we could get more people at our practices.
Piggyback on that, what about the fact that we're running game more than 12? Seemed glad the 12s run the ball.
Say it again now?
Piggyback on that answer, it seemed like the running game might have given you more of a boost. It seemed like you had a little...
Well, we were better in the run game than we were last year. We were better up front in the offensive line. There's no denying that getting Blackwell back helped us up front. He made a big difference in offensive line play. We still got some issues there that we got to fix. But at the same time, that group is developing, and we're getting to the point now where we're starting to have better success running the football. But at the same time, we've got to, if we are to be a real top-notch program, then offensively we've still got some growing to do.
Coach, going into your 12th year, sort of looking at all the checking, you've just about done everything. This is one of those goals that's left, winning that playoff game. Do you think winning that playoff game, that's key to getting this program to that next level?
I think it could be. I think it could be. I think we've got to, though, relax and let it happen and not try to force it to happen in a way where, it's got to be